Hi, I'm Rich from AskAuntPatty.com. I get a lot of questions, a lot of ladies, a lot of guys want to know, hey Rich, what's the best vacuum for me? Well, that's a tough question to answer because without asking some more questions as far as, what have you used in the past? Were you happy with it? What type of flooring surface do you have? It's really hard for me to answer that question. But what I'm going to try and do right now is show you the features and benefits to keep in mind when you shop for a vacuum out there so that you get the right one, because it is sort of a substantial purchase. You paid a lot of money for your carpet, you want to maintain it, you want to get a vacuum that you're not going to hate every time you pull out of the closet. Now the first one I have here is one of these very popular less than 8-pound vacuum cleaners. I'm going to tell you they do a fantastic job on carpet. They are really easy to use, they're less than 8 pounds, and they're fine on carpet. Now, some of the downside to a less than 8-pound vacuum, and you need to keep this in mind, is being less than 8 pounds, they don't put any tools on it. There's no way to use attachments. These vacuums are designed for carpet only. Also, being less than 8 pounds, they're limited to the size motor and the suction that they can put in a vacuum like that. But I'm going to tell you, if you're an elderly person or you're someone that has difficulty pushing a vacuum cleaner, these things are really great. And there's a couple of major brands out there that you can buy that I'd highly recommend. This is a brand that I'm very familiar with, and I know it was rated very high by Consumer Report. The next type vacuum, and a lot of you may laugh because it's sort of familiar, is the old standby. It's the old upright vacuum. This happens to be a really throwback model. It's made out of metal, but it has some great advantages. They have great big motors. This particular vacuum is outstanding on carpets. If you have pets, it really does a good job, and it has this open bag design, which a lot of folks will look at it and say, well, that's sort of old-timey, and it is, but there's a big benefit to that. You're not closing off where the suction is going and housing it in a plastic container. These things move the air all the way through the bag, and it gives it tremendous cleaning power on carpet. This happens to be my particular vacuum there's an old friend of mine. I've pushed it for probably 20 years at my house. Cleaning my rec room is my responsibility. So me and this vacuum, I've used it a lot, and I can highly recommend it. Some of the other upright vacuums that do have the hard cases, one of the benefits they give you, before I put this to the side, is you'll notice that they have onboard tools. If you're a person that likes the convenience of having the tools with them, and you want to dust and go from vacuuming carpet to picking up something or getting a cobweb out of the corner, an upright vacuum that's a hard case with tools is not a bad way to go. It probably won't have as good a pickup ability as this one on the carpet, but the advantage is you do have tools with it, where this one, tools are not appropriate. The last vacuum I want to show you is what we call a 2-motor canister. And this vacuum actually has 2 motors. There's a gigantic motor in the canister itself for suction power. Then there's a separate motor in the power head to turn the agitator that actually lifts cat hair, the dog hair, and the debris off of the carpet. So you sort of get 2 vacuums in one on this. You're getting a great suction vacuum, and then think of this as your upright. A lot of ladies like this because the only thing you're really holding in your hand, the only weight that you have to bear, is this lightweight power head. Okay, so all you're holding is a wand and you're pushing it back and forth. The canister gives you a lot of suction power over an upright, and common sense would tell you you sort of need it, because if you look at how long this hose is, you're pulling the dirt a lot further. An upright only has to pull the dirt about this far, from the mouth of the vacuum cleaner to its bag. This particular vacuum has to pull the dirt from the carpet all the way up the tubes, down this long hose, and into the canister. And it does it very well because you're not limited on the size of motor you can put in this thing. You're not holding it in your hand like one of the hard-cased uprights where it's a lot of weight to push. Now the downside to this is, and I like to tell folks the pros and cons, if you're not used to one of these and you're towing it around your house, it does get hung up on coffee tables. There are ladies that I know that would never own another vacuum other than a 2-motor canister, and I know other ladies that say, look, it's too frustrating. They want an upright where they can pull it out and go zip. One last thing on vacuum cleaners. A lot of times what I get from folks is that it's not picking up. One of the most obvious things I want you to check before you take it in for repair, and it's something you probably can fix yourself, is make sure the belt's on there. And you may say, oh yeah, the belt's on there, but the belt actually should be changed at a minimum once a year. It's a rubber belt, it's what drives your roller, and your roller, your agitator, is what actually grooms the carpet. When your belt breaks, or your belt is on there for too long and it stretches, it's not turning that roller bar. And as a result, you may have some suction, but you're not getting that grooming action on your carpet. So before you get mad at the manufacturer and before you take it into a shop and spend a lot of money, it's something that you can check very easily yourself. I hope you find this very informative, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much.